Totally.
It's actually kind of like I wanted to bring up like this whole dating thing, especially now after being divorced and having gone through a couple dates and trying to do the online thing.
I got some online stories for you, yeah.
You do?
Yeah.
All right, that's good then. So we're all set.
But why don't you open it up since you seem
Yeah,
to...
let's
you brought it up, so...
Yeah, let's get into it because I think it's really interesting to me. Personally, I have a hard time with online dating.
I don't like it.
Yeah, I'm a person that really needs to socialize with others.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It needs to be like in person with people.
Same here.
And even if you read some shit online, it sounds kind of cool. Like you read someone's profile, you don't really know out of that what exactly is really true, what exactly isn't, what exactly are they just writing because they they understand other people want to read it or whatever. So there's all of that, and I don't know, I just can't make connections,
It's hard.
But yeah, so for me, and especially as like a blind person, it's also I know that a lot of people kind of feel that it should be easier to date online.
I've heard that theory. I actually think it's harder.
I was going to say, yeah, I think it's harder, man. You can't really get to know somebody, until like you're with them in person and you're having that conversation. For me, at least, I'm really big into like feeling out people's vibes and stuff.
Their energy, yeah.
Me
too.
You can't really feel any of that if you're doing the online dating thing.
I only know like one or two people who actually have had success with online dating. I don't know that many people who have cited or not,
Yeah. But the thing is, like, a lot of people kind of argue that for someone who is impaired, it's easier to date online because
I've heard that argument.
Yeah, yes. Because you don't have to worry much about like the impairment side of it. But I think it's kind of weird because when you finally decide to meet somebody,
then you do. Exactly.
So it's like, how do you do that? Are you just gonna write a profile that says like, oh, this and this, I enjoy hiking, I enjoy running, all the stuff that everyone wants to hear. I like going for long walks on the beach, which is not cliche at all, and then at the end you say, and I'm fucking blind. Like right at the very end, like, there's a little disclaimer in the fine print.
If you've read this far, I'm blind.
If you've gotten this far, just so you know.
Right.
I mean, my latest experience with that is that I started talking to somebody online, and it seemed to be going really well. She liked, whatever the first message I sent to her. She thought it was really nice, all this stuff. I actually thought her profile sounded really cool. And started talking, through text because she didn't want to do the phone call thing right away.
Okay.
Which is understandable. It's, So she wanted to do text, started talking through text, and then eventually I mentioned to her, like, oh, yeah, by the way, not exactly out of nowhere, but through conversation, I just mentioned, we were talking about our professions and the kind of work we want to do. And she asked me, oh, why are you interested in working with rehabilitation counseling? And I said, well, I have, all the academic stuff, the professional stuff, and also the personal shit with being visually impaired. And
wait. Is that the exact term you used, visually impaired?
I don't remember.
Well, I'm curious because that kind of makes a difference. Can you kind of recall?
I don't recall. I believe it was.
Visually impaired?
Yeah.
Okay.
And but we had a conversation about like how it happened and stuff.
Oh, you did? All right.
Yeah. And she was like, oh, that doesn't change my opinion of you. I still think you're like really cool and all this stuff. And we're having all these long conversations. And I was being really genuine.
Are these over? These are still text conversations, correct?
Yeah, she wanted to do text.
Okay, so you never got to the phone?
No, because here's where I'm getting to next. Like, we started kind of planning to hang out, but basically every day that I had free, she didn't have free to like hang out. The only days she had available were days that I was busy. So that should have been a hint right there, you know?
Right.
And we're talking, and she's like, oh, text me tomorrow. We'll figure it out, all this stuff. Text me in a couple days. So I did that. You know, I was interested in meeting her, like, even if it was just as a friend, because, you know, that's the other thing, too, for me about, like, the online dating thing. I'm not really going into it expecting to meet somebody I'm going to marry. You know, I'm going in there expecting to meet somebody that's going to be cool, that either maybe, you know, I'll end up in bed with for one time and, like, never see again.
For sure. For sure.
Or, you know, or just make new friends. I mean, to me, that's almost more
whatever
important.
comes first, right?
Whoever comes first, you know?
Yes, whoever comes first.
So I was definitely interested in talking to her and getting to know her. But she started doing that whole, like, oh, I don't know if our schedules are going to match. I can't hang out this weekend because something came up.
So she copped out. She started
Yeah,
copping
so
out.
I was thinking to myself, like, this is what got me thinking about this online dating thing, and that's why I wanted to talk about it, because it's like, why are you going to write on your profile that you're looking for someone who's really genuine, someone who's really honest, and all this stuff? And then that's what I gave her. I gave her an honest and genuine part of it. Like, yeah, she didn't really... She couldn't even, I guess what I'm saying is she couldn't even give me that in return. Like, just saying, like, well, I don't think I want to hang out with you.
I'm sorry, I can't do that, you know.
Yeah, or like, oh, I don't think we're going to be a good match anyway, or whatever it is.
Right. That would have been easier.
Yeah, definitely, and I would have appreciated that way more than just like, oh, I don't think our schedules will match up.
That's a cop-out.
You know, I think that's just kind of like a roundabout way of saying... I don't really want to hang out with you anyway. So, who knows? I might hear from her at some point. I doubt it. But it definitely got me thinking about this online dating thing that, for me, it's always been really difficult. I never really get any responses. I've tried the Tinder thing. That doesn't really get me anywhere. But that's also hard for me because Tinder is all, like, pictures and stuff. And it's basically like you see someone you find hot. And then you like them on the app or whatever. So for me, that's kind of tough.
Too visual, right?
Too visual, and I'm too picky.
And you're too blind.
Too blind.
Too blind for it, bro.
Too blind to see.
Yeah, that's really not. That's an unfair thing she did to you. I think it's a major cop out. You know,
and a lot of people do it.
I know they do. But if she
so
called appreciated honesty, she should have been upright and honest, man.
I agree.
I mean, you're a stranger anyway. Like, what does she have to lose by being honest with you? Nothing.
My D.
Well, yeah, I guess.
She just, she did that because she hadn't seen it.
Right. She hadn't seen it. You hadn't memorized. Oh, forget it.
What?
Oh, God, I can't even talk today. Never mind.
Yeah, I don't know what you're trying to say.
Memorized by it.
Mesmerized.
Thank you. That's the word. Mesmerized by your D.
That took a while.
Yeah, it did. I'm sorry.
But, I feel like if you're going to connect on like a dating site, if you're going to connect with somebody on a supposedly like emotional level, because that's why they ask you those questions like, what kind of stuff, what are your goals and all this stuff. They want to kind of see where your mindset is in terms of relationships.
Sure.
But I feel like that tells you less than, a section that talked about like your fetishes or like the stuff that hobbies and stuff than any of that stuff would. I don't know if you agree with that.
Yeah, I do. It would be better, I think, if that was included.
Yeah, because to me, I feel like that will tell you more about how someone is really thinking than like, the cliche, like, oh, I'm looking for someone who...
likes romantic walks.
Yeah, someone who like, I can grow with and
so
who I can,
garbage.
Who's going to be honest and genuine and open.
Yeah, like, no shit, Sherlock.
I think that's kind of a given, but that's what people write.
Of course it's a given, but they write it because I don't think people know what else to write.
You know, it's really funny too. Like when you search through profiles online,
Yeah.
it's like everyone's profile kind of sounds the same.
Yeah,
Like
it's
reads
generic.
the same way.
It's generic.
Even though they're trying to be quote unquote different
Cool.
and cool, they're still like exactly like everyone else, which is really weird. But you had mentioned at the beginning you had like some interesting online dating stories.
Yeah, I got a couple. I mean, I don't know how
I'd like to hear them.
I don't know how interesting they are, but I guess you guys can be the judges. When I first, years ago now, I think I was in my 20s, so it's got to be way over 10 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
I was working for my uncle in the summer, so I had some extra cash. And the first thing I did is decided to blow it on this service called Successful Singles. And it cost me like a lot of money. It was between like, I don't know, $150 and $200 or something. It was a lot of money.
Yeah.
A couple $100 anyway.
Yeah.
And like the guys come to your house and like they interview you and you fill out all this paperwork, what you're looking for, all this stuff, you know, took my money, whatever. Well, didn't take my money. I gave it to them for the service.
Yep.
But long story short, like I was like, oh man, maybe this is going to work. You know, this is like a legitimate deal, which it was. It might still be around. I mean, it's a real service and everything. I was like, yeah, this is going to work. I was like so excited. And then, like, the way they did this is, like, if you got a match, they would correspond with you, I think, through the mail.
Uh-huh.
So one day I got a match, right?
Oh, shit.
And then I called them up to, like, you know, be matched with, you know, whoever it was I was matched with in the letter.
Oh, so who mails you is not the person that you matched with, it's the agency.
Yeah, it's the agency. Mm-hmm. And they ended up telling me, no, that's a mistake.
Oh, shit.
So, you know. After, like, I forget how long I signed up for this thing for, but it was months, and I just got no results.
Oh, shit.
And there goes a couple $100.
So you pay only once? Or do you pay more, like, if you get,
it was
like,
a package thing. It was, like, you know, according to, I don't know, how many months you wanted or whatever the packages were included.
So what did they do for you? What did they do? Do they like write you a profile and then they like send it to people or what?
Yeah, I think so. I think that was the method that they worked back then.
Or do they just like literally have like a way of matching your paperwork with someone else's and then they mail the person and go like, oh, there's a match for you if you want to meet this person.
Yeah, or, you know, hey, this is the info or whatever, you know. And then there was another time where I forget what site this was. Yeah. But I started back when AOL Instant Messenger was big.
Oh, yeah.
I was chatting with this girl who
Bringing
was like,
AIM back, bro.
Yeah, yo, AIM resurrected. I was chatting with this girl for the longest time. Yeah. And I decided to send her one of my scripts. And one of my horror movie scripts. And I kind of forgot how brutal some of it was. Yeah. Like, there's one scene where, like, a guy slits his own throat, but before he does that, he cuts his own dong off. Like, they were just really, like, random, like, violent scenes that, like, you know, back then I was young. So like,
unnecessary.
Yeah, so unnecessary. And, like, my one-liners were, like, really edgy and, like, you know, racy. You know, a lot of really edgy humor and gore and things. Yeah. So I send her the script. I don't hear from her for months, dude. Months. Jesus. Yeah. And then I finally catch her on AIM, and I said, how'd you like the movie? And she just typed literally like, okay. And then I never heard from her again after that day. Like, never heard from her again.
This guy's probably a sociopath.
Like, she thought I was a complete, like, fucking, like, crazy, probably, like, killer or something, dude. Because I forgot. I wish I had the copy of that movie, because I forget how just,
oh, man,
you know, crazily violent and gory it was. But
oh man, dude, I had like so many online quote unquote girlfriends when I was young. Yeah, with the whole chatting thing.
Yeah, me too.
Oh, I used to talk to chicks from the UK, and like tons of them at a time. Like my MSN and AIM windows would always be open and like filled with like windows open of like chats. And then sometimes I'd forget what I told one of them, and totally like lie about something, but then I would forget about it, and I could totally fuck it up later on. And she'd catch me on a stupid lie.
But I also tried some of the mainstream services too, like Match.com and I never had luck with those. Like I'd always
you signed up for that?
Yeah. I always got a couple emails, but they never really went any further than that, you know?
Is that expensive?
Yeah, it was.
I kind of just think to myself, like, fuck paying for dating. I'm already going to have to pay for the fucking date. Why am I going to pay for a service?
Right. No, I've really don't want to use those services anymore. I don't. Like I said, like we said at the top of this episode, they're kind of ridiculous. You know?
Well, I feel like for some people it works.
Okay, but not for me.
But yeah, but that's the thing. That's the thing that we were talking about earlier. Like some people just can't do it. Like for me, it doesn't work because I'm just not good at the whole online thing. For some people, it's perfect.
I'd rather meet somebody in person and just know it doesn't work than having to go through all these online things.
But as you know, that's really hard as a blind person.
It's terribly hard.
Because like you go to a bar, it's not like
hard.
A sighted person just goes in and looks around and it's like, ooh, I like that.
Well, I think that's why the blind community uses online dating so much.
Yeah.
Because it's hard otherwise.
But even online, man, I'm always like, all right, you got to check out this bitch's picture. And you got to tell me what she look like.
Right. Well, you got your standards. Man.
Of course. I'm not going to lower my standards
things
just
you
because,
like, you know. But
I remember someone told me the reason why Tinder doesn't work for me is that I'm too picky and I'm being choosy. I should just swipe for everybody. I'm like, are you serious? It's like, imagine you just like swiping and like, that sounds horrible. You don't know who you're going to meet. Oh my goodness. I don't know. It sounds really bad for me.
Terrible.
You don't know. You get there and like, even if I guess like my thing is I don't want to end up being a douche. Like, what if I meet somebody who's actually really cool, but I don't find attractive at all?
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't want to be that guy who's...
You don't want to suspend her from the ceiling and, you know...
No, not even.
Drop some love glue on her or something?
Not even.
No, it doesn't go that far.
No, man. I'm too picky, which is not good.
Well, sometimes it's good, man. It depends, dude. It depends on the situation. Or the girl, even.
Yeah.
You know? Really does. It's really individual.
Yeah.
I mean, what are you supposed to do? Have no standards? I mean, that's not really
Well, some people
healthy.
don't.
Wow.
And we kind of recorded something like this a while back, but...
Did we?
You know, not this particular subject, but what I'm going to mention right now, which is like blind people who kind of go like, oh, I need to find another blind person because we have a lot of stuff in common. And
look, there's some truth to that, but there's some truth to that, but it doesn't guarantee anything.
So all right, for the sake of this podcast, I actually went online and I signed up for a website, for a dating site that's only for people who have impairments. Mm-hmm. And I still haven't received any messages.
Wow, even on that site.
I've been on there for like a month. And nothing I liked popped up. And it's not, and it's got nothing to do with because they're impaired. It has to do with the fact that like their profiles weren't interesting to me. And obviously, you know, as like with anybody, that's kind of like what you're looking for when you're going on these sites. You know, somebody has to say something that's kind of interesting or different to make you want to like send them a message.
But just because you're both impaired doesn't really guarantee anything.
Oh, no, I understand. That's the whole point. But I'm saying, like, I went to this site and I just couldn't find anything.
Oh, I see. Now, what was the site based on? Blind people, all impairments?
All impairments.
Oh, okay.
So when I searched
so would you have to list your impairment?
Yeah. So when I searched for, like, visual impairment,
you get like fucking 70-year-olds and shit?
No.
Like granny's like, fuck me, sonny.
Hey, sonny. You won't get fucked up.
Granny, here's my swing. Jump in my swing, Granny. We're going to go for a ride.
Hey, Granny, you ever been
drink my Red Bull with vodka in it. We're going to party.
We're going to party.
You want to party, Granny?
And then she looks at you and she goes, teeth or no teeth? You're like, I want to try
How
both.
about both? Yeah, like, teeth half the time, no teeth the other half. Best of both worlds, man.